Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Block Chat 126th episode of this show that we're doing every other week. Usually, it's Makram Honey with me on this show, talking about anything real estate, tokenization, um, DeFi, and what relates to real world assets, what we call them nowadays. Today, we're going to be talking about this next year, this year that we just entered, 2026. And interesting, the number of the block chat is also 26. So what a coincidence there. Today with me is Simon. Simon Cruz, our CTO, and the brains behind what we are developing here at Blocksquare. Simon, welcome on the show. Really, really glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me here. Excited. It's been a while that I was on the show. I think the last one was the Christmas block chat like previous year, like 2024. So let's keep it going.
Yeah, exactly. You were on the show. I think you were wearing the
Exactly.
Santa. So if anybody is following us since just a couple of episodes, make sure to go back to 2024 Christmas episode, and you'll be able to see Simon wearing a Santa Claus hat. So. How have you been doing? Just to start things off, how did you spend your Christmas, New Year's holidays?
Well, I'm the type of person I consider myself a workaholic. So while I was in Germany celebrating with my friends and family, I didn't stop working. I was quite busy. I joined our call even though nobody showed up because I forgot that other people are taking holiday. So yeah, it's been quite a busy with working on a lot of organizational stuff because we have quite a busy year ahead of us. And yeah, was a great time. And now we are ready to fully go on it.
I must admit, I took a couple of days off between Christmas and New Year's. I really needed badly to just, go offline and not think about, try not to think about things that I think about 24/7. Otherwise, what happens for me is, those who work with us, they know that our main, we're remote first. So, Slack is basically our office, all
True.
the messaging, everything is there. And sometimes it's kind of hard to navigate through them and things maybe get lost. So when you click on the icon and then you start reading things, for me, it's immediately 2 hours of work. And because you just need to go through it. If you don't, you might put a reminder, but then it might get lost. So, anyways, I tried not to open it. I managed not to open the app for a couple of days and stay out of the office effectively with it. But I know that you were working on certain things, and I know that there's things that are baking in a way in the background since 2025. One of the things
Yes.
is our core, right? The core of Blocksquare is this tokenization system that we've built back in what, 217, 218. I think we
Yeah, very
deployed
early
it
on.
around 219 after the pilot we did with the parking space, right? And then we deployed the actual system in 219 and then migrating that parking space to that new system. And it's been operational ever since. It's now host to what, 200 million worth of real estate assets tokenized in different jurisdictions. There's more than 20 marketplaces that we've deployed thus far. I think right now around 16, 17 are operational. Or so. So it's an infrastructure that's working, and it's being a resource and an infrastructure, a reliable thing for the trailblazers who started real estate tokenization, wherever they're from, right? And and obviously we've learned through that process of we gathered feedback from people and companies using it, and now what's what's the future of what does the future look like for our core tokenization system?
Sure, I'm happy to elaborate on that. I won't go into too much technical details because I assume most of our viewers are not developers themselves. So I will just keep it in broad overview about the features. But as Dennis said, like our technology's been around since a while. Over the years, we saw a lot of improvements, not only on what we can do better and what our certified partners and marketplace operators might want, but also in itself, Solidity as a language evolved, giving us more possibilities. And therefore, there's a lot that we want to work on. This includes, just to name some things, is like we will allow in the future for certified partners to specify on either the entire account level or per property level to restrict transactions to certain regions, let's say European market, US market, and so on. This is in order to make sure that they can be compliant with every, I would say, framework that is coming up in the future. Obviously, that's an additional feature. Additionally to that, we will give more flexibility on certified partners to potentially change the fee structure that they want to have in their ecosystem. I mean, as we all aware, right now it's set to 1.5% standard on every transaction. But who knows? Maybe there are certified partners who want to do promotions where they have zero fee property trades for a while or whatsoever. So we are building all the tools to give that to the marketplace operators, and that will all be part of the core system. Together with that, we are making sure that our system will be ready for multi-chain in case that certain partners from us want to potentially issue tokens on Ethereum and let's say Arbitrum. All of that is being put into the thought as well. So I would say that's the direction we are heading with the tokenization system itself. There's no timeline on that as of now. We hope that in Q1 we have the first internal implementation draft for that so that we can gather feedback from other team members, from security companies and whatsoever, and then we take it from there.
Perfect. I think this, flexibility that the new system will bring, I think that's an interesting point.
Yeah, definitely. I
And
think that was from the feedback
uh,
mostly
it
requested.
the feed, I don't know, the app just froze for me right now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I froze as well, but
Yeah, you
anyways,
froze as well.
I froze as well. All right. Yeah, it's snow outside, so probably, that causes freezing, I guess. Um, but yeah,
Maybe.
the flexibility on the fees, like you mentioned, and a lot of other things that maybe we haven't mentioned, but we learned throughout the time using the V1, right? Which is still valid and it works perfectly fine. But
Sure.
with the new version, what we're trying to achieve is something even more flexible, even more agnostic in terms of jurisdiction flexibility as well. And as you mentioned, that might be correlating with the fee structure that's integrated in the system. The whitelisting process, how that is done, how the data, the metadata of properties is stored. I think the one of the things that's important as well is energy efficiency of sorts, where how much does it cost to make a transaction? How much does it cost to deploy a new contract? And when you
Mm,
bring all those efficiencies in, you definitely get something that's even further scalable, and can live the next 5 years, right? And host not 200 million worth of real estate, but maybe 200 billion worth of real estate. And that's where we want to go, in that direction. So we're thinking about it already now, already last year. There was, an amazing job done thus far, even though it's a slow moving process, because um, developing smart contract systems that have a certain complexity and developing a new version of the same, it's obviously easier than starting from scratch. So I remember when we were developing the V1, there was a lot of things we had to think of because there was no upgradability at the time.
exactly.
And we were really, doubting every decision we were making because of that. Obviously, with upgradability, you have that flexibility, but still, it's not like you can really completely change everything. You still have certain limitations. So I think, there needs to be a thought process put into it before you can actually go into production with something like that. Um,
Exactly.
and so and so I think it's like also there's a lot of different chains, right? And the question of chain obsolescence is always there. And thinking of, how to make it safe for property owners to have legally binding agreements tied to token contracts, how to make them safe, and being able to survive an obsolete chain if they have decided to tokenize on, I don't know, optimism, and there's no more optimism for optimism, then you know what happens. You need to have a fallback, and Ethereum is a great fallback. And with the V2, those possibilities will be open, and I hope we can attract certain partnerships as well with some of these L2s and L1s that are EVM compatible, and have certain focuses around that can help us bring this to production as well and into usage. Now,
Yeah, I mean, to add to that real quick, I mean, as Dennis said, back in the days, we couldn't upgrade contracts properly. So all of these tools are there. We are utilizing them. We make sure our contracts are future ready for upgrades, not limited to any size. So for all the developers out there, we are looking at a diamond proxy pattern and other stuff. And yeah, as said, it's important for us that we can cater towards the worst case event where a blockchain might not be there anymore and tokens have been issued there. So we make sure that every property that is created on, let's say, Arbitrum with a certain address will be the same on Ethereum and others. And that's also part of the core thought that we put around our product, that how can we cater for this event? And then, as Dennis said, we are looking to explore layer two partnerships where sometimes the blockchain have native KYC modules already. So we wouldn't necessarily need to handle the KYC part. And that's why we open up the system for them to plug in their own adapter. Like these are all the type of thoughts that are going into the V2. How can we make it as a not only like a marketplace partnership solution, but also how can we explore to make it an enterprise solution where we offer it to an entire blockchain and they run it as they want.
exactly. And we've been focusing thus far mainly on real estate. I think that's going to continue. But real estate in itself, as an RWA, from a legal standpoint, has emerged into two models. You have the security token model, and then you have the economic rights transfer token or economic rights token, right? And we've kind of really went into championing the second category. And with the V2, we as well want to be able to support securitization vehicles, which might be more interesting for more institutional grade real estate players who know securitization already. They're already familiar with it. They have the frameworks, the lawyers, the capabilities, the funds to issue securities on chain, and that's something already also being supported by the market. You see the BlackRocks, the JP Morgans, etc., going in this tokenized securities world, and the V2 is something that can give us a spot for real estate in that sector as well. At the same time, not infringing our belief that real estate should be tokenized with a corporate resolution and a token loan agreement secured by a charge on the title, which makes it much easier and much cheaper from a legal standpoint of view to deploy and to execute. And so it makes it feasible for properties of value of 10 million less and less, while securitization vehicles might be interesting for properties of 100 million plus, right? Um, so this new system is being built to support both these worlds, and I'm looking forward to where we can take it, and if we're really able to bring it into production, maybe even in 2026. Who knows? There's a lot of things that are required to make this kind of change,
Exactly.
and there's a lot of coordination. But if there's the right support, I guess this is feasible and possible as well. Now, going from our core system, right? We, as a company, our vision and goal was always to be this white label provider. And obviously, the system is the backbone. And then on top of that, there's a white label application that has a back office, that has a front office that we deal to or we offer to companies who want to run their own marketplace. And this white label has now attracted a certain amount of users, a certain amount of companies, and it's one revenue stream for us. The revenue stream that we have never explored, though, is what if we as a company start running a marketplace ourselves?
Exactly.
And this is a decision that we've made and finalized in Q4. We've prepared certain things for it to happen. And I think the marketing teams has already started working with some core people from our community, ambassadors, to start promoting this. And obviously, there's certain things that we are planning for this first 2 months of the year to come into production to make it actually, work. One of which is a new referral system, right?
Correct.
Um, then there's account abstraction, which is going to benefit obviously white label users as well. But primarily, we're building this for Oceanpoint to thrive as a marketplace, right? And then the migration to USDC. So I think those kind of things can really improve how Oceanpoint functions as a
You
marketplace.
forgot one
Or
crucial point. That's the 1 inch migration.
migration to 1 inch, correct? Can you explain to our viewers what this means? What that migration is
Sure.
actually?
Sure. I mean, everyone that used our marketplace so far knows we had quite some limitation on that. You were only allowed to place limit sell orders and you could fill them. Like if other sell orders are up there, you could buy property tokens. However, we think that was quite a hard limitation, and we received a lot of feedback from other players that want to use our marketplace as well, that we need to improve on this system. So far, we were depending on a library called 0x. They was the go-to standard back in 2018. But over time, players like 1inch brought out, I would say, libraries, in my opinion, that are better, which will give the users the possibility in the future to also put buy orders there. So let's say there is no property up for buy. Hey, at least you can put your buy orders and others can fill it. So we go more to full order book functionality, like you know it from traditional exchanges. So you can fill what is there, you can place orders to buy it up. That's the goal we are going to, because for us, it's important that the users can do whatever they feel like on this type of deals. And we want to support that. So it will be first rolled out with the Oceanpoint marketplace, but also all the white label partners of ours will have this functionality as well.
And it means that for instance, I never bought any real estate tokens, and I come to the marketplace, and basically I can say, oh, I want to buy $100 worth of this property at this price, and I want to buy $1,000 worth of that property at that price. Is that
Exactly.
essentially what this will enable? Okay.
Exactly. So currently, the only way for you to buy it is you need to check the marketplace and you need to hope that, let's say, Dennis is selling tokens. And then only that way you can buy it currently, other than offerings, but on the secondary market,
Mhm.
which is, I think, quite time consuming and annoying because, you need to log in every time and check. With the upgrade to the new system, you can just say, okay, hey, there is nobody selling. I don't mind. I would say I buy this property for $1 as a price and I buy $1,000 of it. And I put my order in the books, and if someone comes who wants to sell, they will sell into it. But this gives you a lot more flexibility on acquiring the property tokens.
Amazing. And so the swap still happens atomically, right? It's still, I know I'm buying from you who are selling, and the
Exactly.
swap is atomic, wallet to wallet. That's it, right? There's no
Exactly.
intermediary, there's no intermediation of Blocksquare, enabling that. that trade to happen. So it's still DeFi, pretty DeFi Web3 stuff.
It's
Okay,
still as you would define it, peer-to-peer trading, kind of.
peer-to-peer,
So
peer-to-peer
it's
transaction.
non-custodial.
It's just it just changes how buyers and sellers meet, I guess. Because
Exactly.
right now it was only if I'm a seller, then somebody can have a match what I'm offering. And in this way, I can, if I'm a potential seller or holder, I can match an offer from somebody who wants to buy. All right.
Exactly.
So that should increase transactional activity, which is good for the DAO because we have that transaction fee in, and there's certain revenues that happen through transactional activity. But what's going to benefit is that more transactional activity is going to create more incentive for whoever is participating actively on the referral program that is going to be implemented. On that referral program, what we're going to offer is for the first 3 months after you refer a user, you're going to earn 100% of the trading fee that is generated from any purchases that user makes. The next 12 months after the first three, it's going to be 50%. And then from there on, it's going to be 25%. Now, the challenge of implementing this, because you need to have the white label in mind as well, right? Is
Mhm.
that you need to make it in a way that still offers flexibility for other marketplace operators to be able to as well turn on this kind of incentive if they want to, but maybe customize it, right? So I think that's kind of the challenge that the team will have on implementing it. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree with them, with that. Definitely one of the challenges. I don't think it's too complicated though, and it's one of the first thing we are going to work on in this new year, as part of all the features that we want to work on. But giving the tools to the community and to our marketing team to attract more users, this is one of the core features that we need to bring out, and it will be being worked on very soon.
Amazing. We also mentioned migrating to USDC. What does that mean?
Correct. Everyone that used our marketplace or the one from our partners know everything was so far settled in DAI. The thing is, we want to go to a more liquid stablecoin and as well as a compliant stablecoin. Given that we are a European-based company, and a lot of our partners are also in Europe or from other jurisdictions that follow closely European lawmakers, it's quite important under MiCA regulation that we support a stablecoin, in my opinion, also that can facilitate that. And USDC is there the preferred choice because USDT, first of all, is not compliant, same as DAI, how it was called before. I don't even remember the current name of it. But USDC is a primary choice there. So all trade settlement underlying will be done in USDC. However, we are researching ways for users to use all kind of different currencies, I would say, and use that natively in the platform. And in the background, it will automatically be converted to USDC and then by the properties. So we are working there with the 1inch team to have open communication to see how we can do that as well.
So this 1 inch migration brings a bit more than just how the trading functions, but as well how people can purchase with what currencies. So
Exactly.
essentially, you could imagine using the same set of also the AI for those who want to use it, or USDS, for instance, which is I think the how it
Yeah,
renamed, it rephrased to USDS. Um, and then you could use Euro C, for instance, if you're somebody who wants to hold euros, or any other stablecoin could be actually implemented as a way for either attracting users that are already part of a stablecoin ecosystem. I know Ripple has a USD coin, for instance, and it has a big user base, right? So we could
exactly.
have and put Ripple's stablecoin as an option that can be used for purchasing property tokens. And it's in the back, it's going to settle in USDC for whoever is selling. Then maybe another iteration further on could be that you can, when you're selling, you can specify which currency you want to be receiving. even though it's going to settle in USDC, right? And I can receive ETH, for instance, or BST. Why not? It could We could as well then implement the usage of BST for purchasing property tokens. So I think that overall brings a lot of flexibility to the users and makes it just more useful or user friendly in the end. And we've been talking about this thing called account abstraction throughout last year.
Yes,
It got dragged, into this year, but now it's in pre-production. I know because I've been
correct.
testing it, and it's actually quite cool. It allows me to use the marketplace without having a wallet. A traditional wallet, which is a MetaMask application or a third-party app on my phone or something, right? I just create a wallet using my biometrics, which any PC or it means as well any phone, Face ID, basically. And then I can use Face ID in a way which is commercially called passkeys, right? I can use a passkey to confirm a transaction, and I can have a passkey on my laptop. I have another passkey on my phone, and basically just the system prompts me with this QR code. I scan it, I do a Face ID, and confirm the transaction. So I think it's pretty convenient. There was challenges implementing this though, right?
Yes. Yes.
What
I mean, we work there with Alchemy. They are well known in the crypto industry for providing nodes for other projects and a lot of other tools. And this was a product they had been working on for a while. So we were actually one of the first one that interacted with it, gave feedback on certain things, and even explored with them together challenges. How can we be GDPR compliant? So we came up with different solutions. But yeah, overall, as Dennis said, all of this is utilizing a standard called passkeys. It's not a Web3 standard in a sense. It's a general tech standard that has been adopted by big companies like Google and others for their login systems and whatsoever. The idea is that we make it for non-crypto native people a lot easier to engage in tokenized real estate by, hey, they provide an email, they provide their fingerprint on their phone, and that's it. That's their wallet. That's the authentication. And all in the background is handled by industry standards and enterprise solutions from Alchemy.
Amazing. And so this is something that probably is going to be rolling out quite soon, I guess, because it's in the
Yes.
final stages of testing. There's some minor improvements that have been done, and I guess it should be something that people will be able to get a taste of quite soon.
Yeah, we don't know exactly yet what week we are going to roll it out, but most likely, as per current planning, it will roll out together with the 1 inch or switch to 1 inch system. So yeah, looking forward to see more communication on that from the marketing team. So stay tuned, and we will let you know once it's ready to roll it out.
Amazing. Um, Did we miss anything? I guess there's always the question of Oceanpoint as a liquidity engine, right? When is that happening? We started last year with a great get together in Bled in Slovenia, where
Exactly.
we joined forces together, 7, 8 developers at 4 days, 24/7, working and thinking about how to solve this, and then did a lot of work, and then it just got dragged out throughout 2025. Like, why some people say why, it's one part is a bit of tech related. There's improvements, etc., stuff like that. Then there's the question of smart contract auditing, which you always want to bundle with maybe some other smart contracts that you're working on, just to get a better deal with the auditor. And then there's the timing thing, right? I think the timing is the key one, right? How do you time the release of something like that? When there's a market that is neglecting altcoins and altcoin projects, it's really pumping only Bitcoin and Ethereum and a couple of others. Do you risk it and make a release in that kind of market? Do you wait for an altcoin season? What do you do, right? And I think that's the question that we've been pondering because there has been so much work put into it. So just, releasing something just for the sake of releasing it maybe it doesn't pay off, and maybe just waiting for the right time is the right decision. Sometimes patience is much more important than, just pushing, pushing, pushing. So, I know it's not a technical question, it's more of a strategic one, but I know you,
Yeah.
Simon, is a strategic thinker as well, and I know you have your own opinion about things.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, there are many reasons why it's not released yet. Um, a very, I would say, portion that took a very big chunk of time was the data modeling itself and risk modeling. So it went a lot of time from Dennis and some of our other coworkers into this, where we need to model, okay, how will Oceanpoint operate? What are the safeguards? How will discount and premium pricing works into all of this, because all of this is a very dynamic and fragile system. And then the next big important question is, how's the launch strategy? How do we launch this? How do we get traction for it? And as Dennis said, like the market wasn't so far in a state where I think it was feasible to launch it. I mean, if you go to any platform and you get 16% on stable coins because they boost it with their own tokens, I don't think that's something we can compete against. Now that the market is in a different state, and I think it will be for a while, a lot of players, even layer twos that we talked to before, who said at that time it's currently not interesting to us, are coming back now to us and saying, "Hey, guys, do you still have a solution for that? We need to offer API for stable coins and others." And now, if the platform provides 6-7%, they are happy with that because there is no alternative. And especially in a very safe way. So we are working on that together with technical challenges. I mean, I can say the system for phase 1 and 2 is audited, it passed audit, together with some other improvements that we are going to release for other contracts. But that's the state as it is right now.
Yeah, I think you mentioned this APY competition, right? How do you attract stablecoin value? How do you, I think right now there's, we were, am I freezing again? Not sure, but
No, a
um,
bit lagging, but it's okay.
a bit lagging. All right. We were in a market where there were there was just two stable coins. There were three, and then there were two, right? USDC and USDT, and USDS is the most decentralized one, but it got totally neglected and uh, set aside in a way. Um, and now you have a bunch of other stablecoins. Just recently, I saw MetaMask launching a stablecoin. It's there in the wallet. You can see it. There's an icon. You can't get rid of it. there's
Or even
uh,
PayPal, industry
there's
giants like
PayPal.
PayPal.
Exactly. There's PayPal launching a stablecoin. There's a lot of traditional fintech launching stablecoins. And these stablecoins will not be used for settlement and market making. I'm sure of it. It's most probably that area is filled, that market is filled, but they will be used for purchases, for retail purchases. And retail will be looking for certain products, right? It's not just gambling. It's not just going out there in the DeFi casino and winging it on the next Pepe. It's trying to find things that make sense, that have a certain background and have tangibility, that might be more long term, that are not these crazy digital assets that sounds fancy. And so I think, being able to contact, get in touch with the stablecoin issuers, trying to present them, or presenting them the use case of tokenized real estate is something that gives utility to the stablecoins, or the stablecoin ecosystems. And so we have a product on one side that is interesting for them. On the other end, you know, um, as you said, competing with juiced up yields was always a challenge for us. And and
Exactly.
now it's and now it's something that, becomes feasible again. Oh, I am froze again.
No, no, we
It
heard you
seems
though. It was just your
okay,
video
you hear
freezing.
me. All right. So, all right. So we have this point token lingering somewhere. It's there. We're prepping it up, just so you guys know. It's something that we are working on. And we are always evaluating what's the best time to launch it. And when is the best time, we will launch it. It's not something of if we will launch it, we will definitely launch it. The question is just when here. And so I think we made the right decision of not doing it last year. Let's see how, in which direction the market goes now. And try to time it as best as possible. All right.
Of course.
Now, what should we talk about? We are at 35 minutes right now. I know we always are saying, yeah, well, let's stick around 30 minutes, 40 minutes tops. So we have another 4 minutes or so
I
for the
mean, I
discussion.
can just give some updates on some internals, things that we will go
Yeah.
through 2026. I mean, towards the end of 2025, we onboarded three more developers, so
Okay.
they are all on track. We are reworking our development approach entirely for 2026. So far, I would say we weren't fast enough to potentially ship out big features, given that we had multiple developers working on different projects. So we are changing that internally to have feature-driven sprints where we say, okay, we can allocate this 2 weeks, for example, fully for a referral feature, so that all departures work hand in hand, that nobody's blocked, and that things can be shipped out faster, I would say. So that are some of the things we are exploring. Other stuff. Let's say it's just a research project, so don't nail me down on it later, but we are exploring like a native app for Android and iOS for our white label marketplace. So where we don't need to deal, I would say, with desktop views and everything. So I would say we can make it a lot more optimized for mobile than you would have with a traditional marketplace on mobile, because there you need to have all resolutions in mind. With a native mobile app, you don't. So that are all the type of things we are working on. And one big thing, which I think also goes back to user acquisition and I would say for people discovering Blocksquare, so far everyone that wanted to basically see what properties does Blocksquare even have, what properties does marketplace operator of Blocksquare have, they were all forced to go through the route where they have to create an account. So we want to change that. We want to allow people to go on the marketplace, see all properties, browse through them, get information about the trades, and the moment that they want to buy it or express interest in an offering, that's when they need to create an account. That's when they need to do KYC. So we are working on opening that up to basically show the world, hey, this is what Blocksquare is offering. This is what our partners are offering.
Amazing. So there's other things in the working, in the making, let's say, that's gonna create even more usability in a way. I love the mobile app thing. I know it's a research thing. I know it already kind of works in a test environment. I've seen it. It's a work in progress thing. It's not the top of the priorities right now, but it's something we started working on based on marketplace operator feedback. Will you have is there an app as well? And I think that's kind of an add-on that some marketplace operators might appreciate on using. I guess account abstraction can play a big role in that kind of setup where
Of course.
maybe you just focus on primarily on using account abstraction wallets instead of smart wallets instead of the traditional MetaMask ones, and you hide that part somewhere, but it's possible, but stuff like that. Um, Opening up the ability to browse, just like you go on an NFT marketplace and you can browse different NFTs, and then if you want to buy, then you buy. I think that's brilliant as well. And definitely will be useful for many marketplaces where they have multiple listings already. Maybe for those marketplaces that are just starting out, maybe that's something of a barrier, perhaps. But you can't start the marketplace until you have some supply at least, right? So anyways, you need to have a plan of bringing supply in before you can actually attract any user base, I think. Um, that being said, is there something you wish you would be able um, to work on with the team instead for in 2026, but you feel like maybe you won't be able to? I don't know.
No, not really. I think everything that comes to my mind that I want to work on, we are working on. I guess that's a benefit of being a CTO. You can push people to do what you want. But no, generally, I think we have a brilliant team. We have a lot of smart minds. I like that every developer of us comes up with new ideas, how we can improve our system, and we are very open to that feedback. And the same goes for the community. A lot of things that we are iterating on for the version 2, the mobile app, Oceanpoint, a lot of that was all born out of feedback we received from the community, from everyone watching this blog streams, from our feedback forms as well as ambassadors. And I always encourage everyone, whatever feedback you have, please reach out to us. Please let us know because we are here to grow the product together. And you can only market it for the ecosystem if we give you the right tools. So let us know what you need. Let us know what you think is missing, and we are happy to explore that as well.
Amazing. Feedback is important. It generates ideas, it generates potentially issues, tickets that convert into merge requests, pull requests, however you call them,
Exactly.
and into code that gets then into production at the end. And I think that's a cycle that needs to be nurtured. So thanks everyone who's watching us. Please do engage in whenever we're collecting feedback. We're essentially constantly collecting feedback. So if you're there, you're a first-time user of one of our products, um, you know, take the time. We're basically here at the forefront of real estate tokenization. I think there's it's very early in the days. There's only a couple 100 million worth of real estate that has been tokenized thus far around the world. Um, and I think there's a lot of room to grow. We're only at the beginning, and it's great to be here in the position that Blocksquare is with all the tech, all the things we've done so far. And now we're able to really focus on powerful features that will bring our product to be not just useful, but as well delightful and hopefully enjoyable for whoever is using it, whether you're a property owner, a marketplace operator, or an investor.
Exactly. So that being said, I think we are more towards the end of our show. So I
Exactly.
think usually Dennis is doing the final moderation, but I just want to skip ahead and say uh, thanks everyone for 2025. Thanks for the years before. Looking forward for you guys to see what we can deliver in 2026. Excited to see what feedback we are going to receive from you guys. And yeah, we are always there whenever you have a question or feedback or whatsoever. Reach out to us on socials, tag us. We will make sure that you get here, that someone hears you and replies to you.
All right. Thank you, Simon, for your time.
It was a pleasure.
And thank you for giving our community an update. Thank you, everyone
Of
who's
course.
watching this.